Welcome back. It's Wednesday and the 6th, and we're, as always, so thrilled to have you with us and spending a little time with your news today. Doing so tonight on a much wintry note, as was expected. No real changes to our predictions and outlooks as far as your forecast is concerned, except to say a little lesser of a chance of snowfall for the weekend, but we'll go into that tweaked forecast for you in just a few seconds. On today's date in our weather history, by the way, back in 1998, just about a month into the very beginning of this program, the warmest ever low temperature was recorded, still stands. 61 degrees at the National Weather Service was the low, and the mercury topped out at 74 that day, in the 70s for a couple of days. So one extreme to the other. And actually, if you go back to 2013, much more recent, we were getting about 2 inches of rain and some heavy downpours over the course of that 24-hour period in eastern Kentucky. Still fighting this nagging cough. My apologies already before we go any further. Tonight's headlines will include an updated Magoffin County candidate list for this Wednesday. What I can tell you about the two cases, technically, before federal judge Karen K. Caldwell in regards to the case of Magoffin County and Greg Howard as he was in court yesterday. A shooting in Martin County has a man in the Johnson County jail on unrelated charges thus far, however, from what I can understand. We'll also talk about two brothers who, amongst some more details, were arrested on charges involving the faking of an attack in a scene that is rather unusual, to say the very least, and we'll go into more detail in a few moments, as well as some other news, a shoplifting case, and some other arrests and information before I leave you for the rest of your Wednesday evening. We'll go ahead and get right to our first report this evening, and that's the report about two brothers who were arrested yesterday afternoon after initially faking a shotgun blast and a physical attack, claiming it was done at the behest of another man. They've now been arrested, saying that they set the whole thing up after they viciously attacked a man with a crowbar, striking him multiple times in the head. 19-year-old Casey Spence and 26-year-old Jeffrey Spence are both charged with first-degree assault, criminal trespassing, and theft by unlawful taking over $500 for theft of a motor vehicle, as well as resisting arrest and then falsely reporting an incident that appears to have stemmed from a long-running disagreement with another man of Martin County. So from what we understand, they were arrested after they staged the complete scene that they claimed happened when they were attacked and retaliated in self-defense, but later admitted to using blood from a dog, a stray dog that they killed for its blood, to splatter around the crime scene to make it look as though they had been attacked. Well, actually, that the attack had taken place at their residence instead of that of the actual victim. The Martin County Sheriff's Department, meanwhile, reports that Fred Daniels from Martin County was struck with a crowbar multiple times in the head and found near his home in the Tomahawk community early Sunday morning, sometime around 4 or 5 o'clock. And after Daniels was attacked, the two brothers stole his truck and left the scene. And when they did so, they went to their residence in Tomahawk, and they created the whole situation using the dog's blood and then puncturing a wall to make it look as though there had been a shotgun blast, which they claim Daniels had fired through a wall and that they assaulted him with a crowbar in self-defense. But police believe, as their investigation has determined, that the crowbar indeed was used on Daniels, but at his residence and not in self-defense. And thus the brothers were taken into custody on the before-mentioned charges. Daniels was first taken to the Palby Hall Medical Center. Thereafter was transferred to the Pikeville Medical Center for the severity of his injuries. As for this next case, here's what I can tell you at this hour. It began with me checking the jail records earlier this morning at the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center and finding someone there booked on a charge of murder. However, that same individual, when I checked later in the afternoon, was still incarcerated but on much different charges. Those charges do relate to a scene last night. Whether or not they relate to the death of a man is still yet to be determined. But here's what I know. That Kentucky State Police are investigating a shooting death of a man from Martin County. 46-year-old Rodney Stepp of DeBoard has been confirmed to be the victim. Another man, a friend, a very close friend, maybe even neighbor, has also been arrested on what is still said to be at this hour unrelated charges. This is the man that authorities found shot last night, and in an arrest citation filled out by the Martin County Sheriff Deputy listed, Deputy Blevins, it details that he responded to a complaint on Davella Road about a man who had been shot, and when he got there, he found another man standing over Rodney Stepp. Dispatch had already advised the deputy that a subject was believed to be armed with a firearm on the scene, and that the sheriff and the deputy as well advised a subject several times to show him his hands. He refused their commands and then pleaded with them to shoot him, from what the arrest citation says, and he reached into his pants pocket. Authorities were able to subdue him and did find a .380 handgun in his pants pocket. Now, he was taken into custody from that point further. The man on the ground lying next to him was identified as 46-year-old Rodney Stepp of DeBoard, who had posted this picture of himself on social media less than 12 to 20 hours before his death. I think much more recent than that. And even just an hour before that had posted that he was dining with the individual who was arrested in possession of a handgun standing over or near his body. The two are believed to be neighbors, definitely friends. And Elwood 6, 66 years of age, was taken into custody, but charges updated on the jail's website do not list murder. They instead list wanton endangerment of a police officer in the first degree, resisting arrest, menacing, and disorderly conduct in the second degree. The only other details that we have, according to a press release, is that a person on the scene, which we have deduced to be Elwood 6, was arrested on what they are calling unrelated charges. Authorities say that this case will be presented to the grand jury for any other charges that may be related to the shooting. Meanwhile, funeral services are pending in honor of Mr. Stepp. And again, it does appear as though that case will be presented to the Martin County grand jury for their consideration as to whether or not there will be any charges filed pertaining to the shooting death of Mr. Stepp. I'll be right back. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Turning to other headlines, shoplifting, says authorities. That's what they've accused a Staffordsville woman of doing, and also being in possession of drug paraphernalia at the same time. Melissa Leedy of Staffordsville, 42 years of age, is charged with theft by unlawful taking for the shoplifting, possession of drug paraphernalia, and being under the influence of alcohol and or drugs, believed to be drugs, under the entire incident that happened at the Dollar General store in Paintsville, where management stopped her with merchandise that she had stuffed into a Dollar General quilted tote but didn't pay for, totaling more than $106 in all. And upon arrival of the Paintsville Police Department, they found inside her purse, well, actually, she found inside her purse, she removed a meth pipe and tried to hide it from the investigating officer, but failed to do so. She also failed field sobriety tests while on the scene, and thus was charged with public intoxication and the theft and possession of paraphernalia charges. Oh, by the way, on tomorrow's program, in regards to another Paintsville business, on a completely different note, we'll talk about a new business announced coming to the Paintsville area. I know much to the delight of the Doug Mortimers out there, but also anyone else buying tools and things of that nature. And I'll have an update for you and when and where that's going to be on tomorrow's program. In McGoffin County headlines tonight, Greg Howard of Howard's Grocery was sentenced in federal court yesterday with limited information at this hour. Technically, there were two cases in which he was sentenced for. One going back to 2013, in which he was found guilty or pled guilty to a single count of the drug-related charges against him and received probation with no time or additional time to serve after his arrest. The other case, of course, stems from the 2017 raid, March of this year raid, in which DEA, state, and other authorities raided Howard's Grocery and his residence, after which he's been in federal custody ever since. The judgment has yet to be filed for the 2017 case, but this is the information that I can find thus far and confirm in regards to the 2013 case, which does have time to run concurrently with his sentencing for the latter. Yeah, the judgment not being filed yet for the 2017 case that goes back to March leaves us not knowing how much time for that new or second case, but there are court records that indicate and confirm that the sentencing did take place, and that in regards to the 2013 case, his violation, rather, he was found to be in violation of the conditions of his supervised release when he was found and arrested for selling drugs again after the first case and plea. And with the revocation of those conditions of his term, he was to be imprisoned for 1 year for violating the terms of his probation, and that 1 year is to run concurrent with the sentence imposed in the 2017 case. Once again, we don't know what that sentence is as of yet. Now, upon release, he will also be under supervised release again for 3 years, as he was for the initial case of selling drugs that he was convicted of in federal court. He was remanded into the custody, as he has been for the past several months since March, of the United States Marshal Service after the proceeding yesterday. I expect that judgment in the 2017 case against Howard and the official and final information on his sentencing to be forthcoming possibly tomorrow before the week's end. We'll have that update for you just as soon as it's available. More announcements, more news in our updated candidates list coming in just a few moments. But first, here's what's happening on tonight's updated, if you will, Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. The next time you're out, hopefully shopping locally, pick up an extra toy. Any new unwrapped toy, don't have to wrap it, can be dropped off at the Sayersville Funeral Home for their 4th annual toy drive. And you can help them share the love this Christmas season, helping them provide needed gifts for the children of Magoffin County. And that's where all the toys that are donated at the Sayersville Funeral Home will indeed go, to kids here in Magoffin County. So next time you're out, pick up an extra toy and drop it off at the Sayersville Funeral Home. A reminder, and I got the time right on this tonight, a Christmas gift giveaway to be held this Saturday at the Mount Sinai Church of God. That's across from the Speedway here in downtown Sayersville. They're giving gifts out to the run out, so bring the kids by, see Santa and Mrs. Claus as well. All these gifts graciously donated by the East Kentucky Mission and the Sinking Fork Baptist Church. And kids, you can get them Saturday morning at 10 at the Mount Sinai Church of God. And the South Magoffin Volunteer Fire Department has set their Christmas run schedule for this Saturday. Now, they're going to make their route all the way around their service area. They'll leave the fire department at 4. At 4:15, they'll be at Salt Lick, 4:25 Long Creek, 4:35 Buck Creek, 4:45 Whitley. 5 o'clock, they'll be at Trace 542 and 1502, the forks of the road. 5:30, Howard's Branch up to Sulphur Springs. 5:45, the mouth of Bull and Brushy. 6 o'clock, the county line at Ovie Howard's at Spruce Pine. 6:15, they'll start up Main Licking. And at 7 o'clock, kids, if you miss them along that route anywhere, well, make your way to the fire department if you miss Santa, because that's where they'll be, back at the fire department at 7 o'clock. And I don't have it typed in, just literally got it handed to me. South Magoffin Fire Department is hosting a small business bazaar, not this Saturday, but the next, on the 16th. A host of local vendors and craftsmen with all sorts of products, great Christmas gifts. I'll remind you about that a little later, certainly in the next few days. That's not this Saturday, but the next at South Magoffin. A reminder from our friends over at the Lakefront Church of God, specifically the Water into Wine Food Pantry. Senior Day for the pantry is next Tuesday, 8:30 till noon. The regular day of distribution for the month of December, next Wednesday, the 13th, 8:30 till 3. Keep that in mind. That's at Water into Wine. The Magoffin County Cattle Association is having their Christmas Gala on Thursday, the 14th. It's at the high school, beginning at 6. Just $6 for... rather, $12 tickets, 6 o'clock tickets for $12 for an awesome meal. Kids 5 and under get in for free. Big chili dinner and hot fudge cake to top it all off. And don't forget, the Extension Service has their country ham project ongoing, but you have to register by the 15th. $40 per ham. That gets you the ham, and you go for 2 or 3 times a year throughout the year for the classes, and you learn all about the process and science and everything you need to know about curing a country ham. And then you get to eat the ham when it's all said and done. To register, call 349-3216. A correction to this announcement, our next McGoffin County Community Blood Drive is still going to be Saturday the 16th, but in the parking lot of the Sayersville IGA, and you get a $10 Amazon gift card for everybody who donates. It's 10 till 2. I'll hold this one for a few days, but remind you throughout the week next week. But mark it down in your calendar. Save someone's life by simply donating. Quick, easy, and let's face it, it's relatively painless. Candy Cane Lane's open 6 to 10 nightly on the Gardner Farm at the top of the Ivy Point Hill. And our calendar announcements are always open. Doesn't cost anything. Birthdays or anniversaries, too. All you have to do is tell me, and I'll tell everyone else about it. Are you looking to visit or come home to Sayersville to relax, reconnect, or maybe ride the Dawkins Trail? Then you have to stay in our luxurious lofts over downtown that comfortably and conveniently accommodate parties of 1 to 10 with king beds, beautiful decor and furnishings, and walls adorned with the city's history. There's absolutely nowhere else like the Mortimer Lofts. Book directly through VRBO. Find them on Facebook at the Mortimer Lofts of Sayersville or call 606-349-3299. In our Wednesday update, let's go right now to the new and completed list as of this afternoon of those candidates who have thus far filed to run for all, basically, of the offices up for grabs in McGoffin County. While all races essentially are up for grabs, not every race has someone who's filed to run for that as of yet, but these are the ones that do. And no changes to the first couple of races real quickly. Constable's race, District 1, James Rudd still the only candidate thus filed. Still only 2 Democrats thus filed for Constable District 2. That's Silas Saylor and Dewey Marshall. District 3 Constable has a new name to add to the list. In addition to 3 Democrats, there is now a 4th, Richard Rexlove, Larry Bubby Carpenter, Alvin Jr. Kraft, now joined by Democrat Homer Bailey for Constable of District 3 in McGoffin. A 5th candidate for Magistrate in District 1 of McGoffin County, now joining Darrell Ray Howard, Republican, Democrat Harlan Sarge Rao, Democrat Ella Allen, and Republican Ivan Neal Howard. Also a candidate for District 1 Magistrate Robert Prater. No change for those who have filed for Magistrate District 2. Eddie Jenkins, still the only Republican, but Gary Ward, a Democrat, and incumbent Democrat Buck LeMaster have filed for the Democrat race. District 3 Magistrate Nelson Lovely, Republican, Democrat Joe Bailey, Democrat Randall Reisner, Democrat Brian K. Pennington, Democrat Ralph Lovely, and Democrat Charlie Brown have all filed thus far for Magistrate in District 3. And adding to that list of candidates is another Democrat for the primary, that being Ryan Reisner, candidate for District 3 Magistrate. 1 candidate still for coroner of McGoffin County, that being incumbent Democrat Mark Jenkins. Still 2 candidates confirming a race in the primary for McGoffin County jailer, Brian Montgomery, current jailer, and Republican Greg Minix. While another name to be added to the list of candidates for McGoffin County Court Clerk, in addition to Renee Arnett Shepard, who is running for re-election, Republican Josie Wireman Bailey, Democrat Anthony Wayne Rose, and Democrat Big Tony Allen, Diana Adams has filed. And my apologies, it's not on screen by Adams' name, but she has done so on the Democratic ticket. Nothing new to add to the field of candidates for McGoffin County Sheriff at this time. Republicans Mike Nichols, William Bill Meade, and William Jeff Salyer. Democrats Randall Bob Jordan, Democrat David Neal Howard, and Democrat Johnny Lovely, as well as Republican and current Sheriff Carson Montgomery, and 2 independents, those being Rick Jordan and Arthur Perkins, have all thus far filed to run for sheriff. There is an addition to the list of those for McGoffin County Judge Executive. Democrats William Helton and Danny Salyer and Matthew Chalmer Wireman. Republicans Joshua Ray Puckett, Republican Brent Patrick, and Republican John Montgomery, and Democrat Ronald Reed, now followed by 2 additional candidates since our last update, 1 on each of the 2 major ballots. Democrat Tim Watkins, former candidate for McGoffin County Sheriff, and Republican Carter Whitaker, former school superintendent, have also filed for McGoffin County Judge Executive. Property Valuation Administrator has 2 new candidates in addition to Democrats Jerry L. Patrick and Benji Gibson, Republican Leslie Allen Arnett, and Democrat Dexter Allen. For McGoffin County Circuit Court Clerk, still Tanya Arnett Ward, our current clerk, the only candidate thus far whose name is on the ballot. One name still on that for Commonwealth's attorney in the 36th District, Magoffin and Knott counties, the son of our current Commonwealth's attorney, Graham Martin, Todd Martin, on the Democratic ballot. And what still feels like newly elected state representative for the 92nd District, John Blanton, on the Republican ballot, has filed to run for his office again. We'll have another updated list for you on next Wednesday, should there be any additions, and I suspect there will be. Going on to tonight's tonight's Licking Valley RACC outlook is the cold. All the cold of the forecast has got me thrown off my game. Like I needed any help in that department. 28 degrees tonight, partly cloudy skies, no precipitation, but some winds are going to add to the chill out of the southwest at 3 to 7 miles per hour, and they'll kick it up tomorrow a notch for your Thursday. Partly sunny skies, highs right at the 40-degree mark, but a light southwest wind becoming 5 to 9, but gusts could get upwards close to 20 miles per hour tomorrow as well. So cold and blustery day ahead. Nighttime lows falling, I believe, just below the 20-degree threshold for your Thursday night. Temperatures continue that downward trend into Friday. 36 expected for daytime highs. Nighttime lows still hovering in the low 20s. Mostly sunny skies, partly cloudy. No precipitation anywhere in the area through the end of the work week, the standard work week, if you will. But there's another weather maker on the horizon, actually a couple that are going to make some precipitation. The first is on Saturday, where we've got right now a slight chance of some snow showers between noon and 1, then maybe some rain or snow showers, and a 30% chance of some snow on the backside of all of that. The precipitation window looks to be between noon and 10 p.m. on your Saturday, and temperatures, of course, are going to be above freezing enough to see any precipitation during the afternoon in the wet category and not the white. And chances, as you may recall, were up to 60, close to 70% yesterday for some snowfall. They've backed down to 40 to 30% throughout the course of Saturday, and the window has gotten a little more narrow. Still a chance for some flakes to fly, not looking for much more than that as of right now. Latter half of your weekend is shaping up to be clear and dry and cold still. Mid-30s on the dot at 35, nighttime low of 24 degrees, mostly sunny, mostly clear. And for Monday of next week, we'll start off mostly sunny and a bit warmer, recovering back to some more normal temps closer. 46 degrees for daytime highs, but there's another player coming into town on Monday night. That will bring a chance of some rain or snow showers. Those chances, kind of like Saturday, to the tune of 40%, will linger into your Tuesday as well. So that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Can you believe Wednesday's pretty much over already? Still 2 more days of news to cover, and perhaps maybe 4 or 5 days worth of news to fit into that time frame. We hope to see you back here when we start another edition of Your News Today tomorrow night. For now, thank you for watching and being a part of this one.